We just heard the epic-long MacArthur Park by actor Richard Harris, which was a #2 smash in 1968 and would later become a disco hit for Donna Summer. Before that, we heard the bubblegum rock group, the 1910 Fruit Gum Company, with their #5 hit, 1, 2, 3 Red Light. And right now in the background, we're listening to the #2 instrumental from the year called Classical Gas by Mason Williams. Summing up the music of 1968, looking at the world in general, it was possibly the most violent and depressing year of the rock era, as racial tensions continued through the United States. Meanwhile, the death tolls were increasing quickly in Vietnam. Countries were in times of change, as most major countries had changes in political leaders, and the musicians who had been in the spotlight seemed to be busted for drugs just about every week. Yet in all of this confusion, the music itself is innovative and moving ahead in a good way. As album sales surpassed the single, a new market of music was opening. Bubblegum and heavy metal were the new stars in this mass market. Yet bubblegum would peak right away, while heavy metal would just keep getting heavier throughout the next 25 years and more popular. There were 12 #1 albums and 15 #1 singles in 1968. 98 songs went top 10 and 279 went top 40. There were 33 acts who had their first hits, including the Archies, Canned Heat, Judy Collins, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Deep Purple, the Dells, the Irish Rovers, Sergio Mendes and the Brazil 66, the 1910 Fruit Gum Company, Sly and the Family Stone, and Steppenwolf. 45 one-hit wonders included the Amboy Dukes featuring Ted Nugent, Big Brother and the Holding Company featuring Janis Joplin, Blue Cheer, Arthur Brown, Richard Harris, Jimi Hendrix, Iron Butterfly, Hugh Masekela, Paul Moriarty, Hugo Montenegro, Jeannie C. Riley, The Small Faces, Status Quo, Tiny Tim, and Mason Williams. And 36 acts had their last hits, including The Animals, Petulia Clark, Dion, Herman's Hermits, Gary Lewis and the Playboys, The Marvelettes, Roger Miller, Gene Pitney, Otis Redding, Sam and Dave, The Trogs, Bobby V, and Jackie Wilson. The top 5 acts of the year were James Brown, the top male. #4 was the Beatles. #3 was Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the top rock act and the top new act of the year. The Temptations were the top group at #2, and Aretha Franklin was once again the top act of the year, the top female, and the top black. Marvin Gaye wins the Career Award for the year. And tune in next week when we go to Woodstock on History Lesson 1969.